You're not getting a whole bunch of pigment. You're not, they ignorant. You're not getting pigment. Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I just want to talk about some Your Cheeks But Better blush. And what I mean by that, we talk about your lips but better all the time. And I have some blushes in my collection that I absolutely love that just give me that beautiful, just walked in from a cold windy day or just walked in from the beach kind of flush to the cheeks. That's really, really natural. Now, I know blush can be really intimidating for a lot of people. It's very easy to pick the wrong color and look like a lady of the evening from, 1890s London. It's not a cute look unless you're doing something just really editorial. I mean, if that's your thing, do it. For me, it's not a cute look. So I usually like to go with something that's softer, that is really just looks like I have a natural flush to the skin where you can't always tell if I have blush on at all. It just kind of is there, but very subtly. So I thought I would share some of these blushes with you. I've got some that are high-end, low-end, or high-end, low-end. I've got some that are discontinued because I know you guys know how I feel about discontinued products. I do talk about them because people still have these products in their collection. So, they might as well, we might as well talk about them. And just some things that are permanent and still available out on the market. So yeah, if you want to see what blushes I love to use on a daily basis, just for natural, that kind of flushed look, then stick around. Now guys, before we jump in this, keep in mind, I am very fair skinned, so these blushes might not work the same for everybody or might not give the same effect on everybody's skin. I just can speak from my perspective when it comes to what shades work for me in that regard. If you are somebody who is deeper skinned than I am, and please let me know down below what blushes you love to use for just the same kind of effect, because I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. So, but first off, let's get started. And I'm going to get started with a Wet n Wild blush. Now, this is from the Fergie collection. They had repackaged these, and I'm not sure if they're still available, but I know they were up until recently. And this is the Wet n Wild Fergie Center Stage Collection Around the Clock blush in Brush with Destiny, and it doesn't look like much in the pan. I have almost hit pan on this one. So it's one of those kind of orangey pinky blushes with gold reflect, and it kind of has a gold turn to it. The shimmer in this blush does not really translate to the face. It's actually what I have on today. It goes on very smoothly, and it just gives a beautiful luminous finish to the skin. So I like to use blushes like this tone more during the summertime, just because it kind of goes with the more warm, bronzy looks that I do during the summertime. But I absolutely adore this blush. I have a backup of it because it was my favorite for a really long time. For a long time, I couldn't even put this down, and I still reach for it every now and then. So that is the Wet n Wild blush in Brush with Destiny. So let's keep on that Wet n Wild train. So a couple years ago, Wet n Wild re-released their Color Icon blushes, and they released some new colors, and one of those colors is Rosé Champagne. Now, the texture of these blushes is just absolutely stunning. It's so soft and luxurious feeling, and this is one of those blushes that I would kind of equate to Dallas from Benefit, but maybe lighter. It's really, really subtle on the skin. It's almost one of those blushes you could use as a bronzer slash blush if you are my skin tone or fair like I am. Again, it's going to have a really luminous finish to the skin, really smooth, really subtle. You can build it up, but this is going to be a really extremely subtle blush for just a really minimal day. I'm talking about like maybe a BB cream and some mascara and this blush, and I'd be good to go. But look at the turn on that. It's so, so pretty. So pretty. And that is Rosé Champagne from Wet n Wild. And then the last one from Wet n Wild is called Apricot in the middle. So this one's going to be kind of between Rosé Champagne and Brush with Destiny. It's going to be kind of like those two had a baby. So these are all three very similar. So if you can't get this one, I would say Apricot in the middle is going to be really close. This one's just a little bit pinkier, but it's so pretty. Again, the texture of these is gorgeous. They're soft. They're really buttery and smooth, and the finish on the skin is just gorgeous. It's not sparkly. It's just a beautiful, natural, luminous finish, and I just think those are just absolutely stunning. I needed to take it easy with these blushes because I'm going to run out of room. The next one I want to talk about is from e.l.f. and this is the e.l.f. Studio Blush in Peachy Keen. I have been in love with this blush for a really long time. I will always love this blush. Now this blush is not the most luxurious feeling. It doesn't swatch the best, but there's something about it when you get it on your cheeks that is just so natural and beautiful and summery that it's just going to be a favorite of mine for a long time. It's just one of those ones I reached for consistently. I love this blush. Again, it's right in line with all three of the Wet n Wild ones. It's just slightly more orangey. So these are all blushes that I use more, again, during the summertime. Now, keeping more with those more orangey type of tones, this is definitely starting to go into pink territory, but it still has a lot of that warmth in it. And this is the Becca, this is the Mineral Blush in Flower Child. I love this blush. This is all I was using for a very long time. It's, again, it's definitely, we're tiptoeing into pink. Actually, we're not tiptoeing. We're just skipping right into pink, but it still retains a lot of that warmth. And just, again, you can see the texture I love. It's just that kind of satiny, luminous, beautiful texture that's just so stunning on the cheeks. And it just gives such a natural, luminous glow. And that is Flower Child Mineral Blush from Becca. Another blush that I really adore from Becca came out and was limited edition a couple of Christmases ago, and I know a lot of people have this palette, so this is why I want to talk about this. This is the Blushed with Light palette, and it came with 3 blushes. It was a mineral blush and I can't remember what their other formula is, but this blush was specific to this palette, and it's called Wisteria. And it is such a pretty blush. Again, it's going to have, this is more of a dusty, muted pink. So this is going to, again, have that beautiful, subtle sheen to it that I just love on the skin. That's just so flattering, especially if you're older, if you have texture on the skin. You don't want something, you know, sparkly on the skin. I don't necessarily like matte blushes as much. I usually want to go with something that's going to give me a little bit of that lit within effect on it. And this one is beautiful. So if you have this palette, bust it out. This one is so gorgeous. I love this one during wintertime and the fall. It's probably one of my favorite fall / wintertime blushes. I do have a matte blush here. It's not completely matte. It's still gonna be on the more matte side of things. And that's the powder blush from Milani in Romantic Rose. Now these are gorgeous. I have almost all of these. This one is by far my favorite, as you can see from the indentation of the flower. It's almost gone. Now this one swatches like absolute garbage. It does not swatch well. It looks powdery, it looks patchy, it's terrible, but something about applying this on my cheeks over a foundation with a blush brush. I usually use just my BRC S25. It's my favorite blush brush and I have a million of them. It looks so pretty. Again, this is a more autumn fall blush for me, because it just is going to give you that kind of rosy coming in from the cold type of look. Don't go by the swatch, but this is one of my all-time favorite blushes from Milani, and just in general, it's such a beautiful, gorgeous blush, and it's just a beautiful dusty pink. It just absolutely swatches like crap. Next blush I want to talk about is actually from MAC, and I love this blush. I walked into the Pro store in New York before they moved the old Pro store, and I looked at the girl. She's like, "What do you want to buy?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just here on vacation. I want to buy something from the MAC store." I was like, "Okay, what blush do you recommend?" And she was like, "I recommend Blush Baby." And I was like, "I will take it." And I love this blush. This is a Pro color. It is a beautiful texture. This is a matte blush, but again, when you get it on the cheeks, it's not flat. It's just, well, is this a matte? No, this is a sheer tone. This is a sheer tone. So this has got, it's not full on matte, but it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. Again, it's right up there with these same colors, just that beautiful light neutral pink with a little bit of brown in it. And it's just so soft and flattering on the skin. You can build this color up, but I do generally just a light application of it because it just gives me that beautiful flushed look. So Blush Baby from MAC is fantastic if you are looking for a neutral blush. It's probably, in my top 3 all-time favorite blushes. Another blush that's in my top 3 favorite blushes is Fetish. This is one of the Afterglow 8-hour blushes from Urban Decay. This is still available on their website, and I love this blush. It's a little bit of a pinkier version of Blush Baby, but it's about the same coverage, same kind of tone, I apply it the same way. It's going to have a really light, soft application, but when you get it on the skin, it's so incredibly gorgeous. I think this is such a beautiful formula from Urban Decay, and nobody talks about them anymore, and they've really cut down on the colors they provide, which is really unfortunate because it is such a great, great formula. All right, the last blush I want to talk about is my third in my top 3, and that is Mood Exposure. One of you guys told me this is Mood Exposure. I was reading it wrong. It's not Luminous Flush. So Mood Exposure, Incandescent Electra, and Luminous Flush. Now, I love these too, but there is something about this blush right here that is so incredibly beautiful. It is definitely a more mauve-y pink. It's a more tamed down dusty pink. It's kind of like a cooler, lighter version of Fetish, but it is so stunning. I cannot say this enough. If you want to talk about a high-end product that is worth it, any of the powders that I've tried from Hourglass are so incredibly flattering on the skin. You don't get a whole bunch of pigment out of these, but that's not what I go for. Now, I do find that all of these are buildable. You can build these up if you're deeper, but if you are fair skinned like I am, it is hard to find a blush that you are not gonna go crazy over the top with. But that Mood Exposure blush is just my favorite. So those are my 3 favorites of all time. It's Blush Baby by MAC, Fetish from Urban Decay, and Mood Exposure from Hourglass. Absolutely love. All right, guys, so those are just some your cheeks but better blushes that I love if you are fair skinned like I am. And I think if you're deeper skinned, you could definitely use these as well. You just have to build them up, and they might not have the same effect. These are just blushes that I can use, I can throw on. I don't have to worry about being heavy handed with them because they're so flattering and user friendly. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, let me know if you are deeper skinned than I am, which is probably 99.999% of the population. Let me know what your favorite your cheeks but better blushes are. I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. As always, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I do want to shout out a channel today. I've talked about this channel before, but Baute, I love her. She's such a sweet soul. I love the way she approaches makeup. She gets so excited about it. She's definitely a bigger channel than I am, but I think she should just have thousands upon thousands of subscribers. I think the way she approaches her videos and makeup is so practical and healthy and fun, and she gets so much enjoyment out of it, and you can really tell that, and her love for makeup and what she does comes across in her videos. So definitely go check her out. I will link her in the in cards and down below. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I will see you next time. Bye.